Hi folks, this is the Mediocre Chess Meister, aka the Travel Meister, and I'm gonna show you a short game that I played just minutes ago. And it's a funny one because we never really get into the middle game. We start off with a queen's opening, which I kinda bungled at the beginning, but then we were just dealing with the aftermath of the opening, and that's where I finally did a nice little tactic. I'll let you try and find that tactic when the time comes, and that's how I won the game. So this is the medium version. It has some of the details that you're going to miss in the short version, which I released earlier. But if you just want a quick watch, just for the fun of it, you can go watch the short version. It should be in the link below in the description. And there's a longer one that's going to be coming up. It should be a lot more details, a lot more of why I'm doing certain things, and I think you can benefit a lot more from that video more than anything else. The long version. I hope you enjoyed this game. I played a bunch of E4 games last night and I completely bungled it and I had a really tough time, so I started off with a queen's opening today, which has often been solid for me. I played d4, d5, c4, queen's gambit, d takes c4, accepted, knight to c3. Usually I would at some point play e3 or e4 and then recapture this pawn with my light squared bishop, that way regaining the material I just lost. Today they played this move, which you're gonna see why they played it, and after I attack it, he plays b5. So now I can't really take this guy because he's being supported by the pawn on b5, and I can't take the pawn on b5 because he's supported by the pawn on c6. This is usually a bad idea for black. There's a lot of theory you can watch on queen's openings. I actually forgot the theory, which is my problem. That's why I say I bungled it. So I tried my best to remember what I could. I played a4, challenging this pawn chain. He plays bishop to b7. I go ahead and take a takes b5, c takes b5, and now I can finally take knight takes b5. There's no more support for it, and I'm gonna pick up the pawn on c4 and regain all the material that I lost earlier. So he plays bishop to a6, and this is actually where he kind of blunders. I didn't see the full scope of it from now, but the engine actually puts me up at plus 5.54, and it's just pretty badly placed. He's already moved it twice, first from c8 to b7 and then b7 to a6. It's already not a great thing to do. Now he's put it on an open file with my rook, so that's never a good idea. And the only thing protecting is his knight on b8, and that can move anytime. That's supposed to move in the opening, so that's not a good idea. I go ahead and capture, and now I'm defending the knight as well. So he adds the pressure. He plays queen to b6. Now there's two attackers on my knight and just the one defender, so I need to defend. I play queen to b6, and this is actually a pretty precarious situation for me and for him as well, but especially for me because this knight is kind of pinned. If I move this knight, then their queen can attack my queen this way, and their bishop can attack my bishop. So even though they're supporting each other for the moment, the problem is, let's say something happens where I move this bishop away, then this guy gets pinned because I can't move him, or else my queen is hanging and he'll just take my queen, and it's vice versa for if I ever play my queen away somewhere like here, just let's say away somewhere, then this guy's again pinned because if I move it, he's gonna take my bishop with his. So I don't like this position. I'm trying to get rid of it. He responds with e6 and I respond with knight to f3. Now the idea for me is that I want to bring my knight in to solve this situation here. It's really precarious for me. Hopefully I can attack some of their pieces and defend my pieces better with this knight. Just bring it in somehow. And as for him, why did he play e6? It's because right now I have a battering ram pointing straight into this guy, who's undefended except by the queen. This is the famous f7 pawn. It's one of the weakest pawns along with f2 because only the king is defending it. So he plays e6 to stop this attack. So after I play my knight, he also develops his knight to f6, and I castle, and he brings his knight to e4. I'm not sure why he does this, but maybe it's the same idea as mine. He's gonna perhaps bring it here, and he's attacking these both these pieces, my bishop and my knight, and he's being supported by the queen and the bishop here. He's just gonna add a lot more pressure, and that's what I'm afraid of. And he's also eyeing this square, d2. If he plays it here, he's gonna fork the queen and the rook, so he's gonna win the exchange for sure. And he's also attacking the bishop on c4, so it's gonna be a really hard. It's gonna be a big blow to me because these are all key pieces, especially these two. And the good news for me is this square is currently being defended by both this knight and this bishop, so I don't pay attention to it for the moment, and instead I play knight to c3. The idea for me behind this is it relieves a bit of the tension I was feeling because both these guys were stuck, this guy was pinned, and I could be losing any piece at any point. So by playing this, I'm releasing the tension. I'm hoping that he takes my queen and I can take his queen back. Either that, or maybe he can take my bishop, I can take bishop, and it just relieves some of the tension I've been feeling. After I bungled the opening and I couldn't remember all the theory, I was always feeling on the back foot, even though I was actually very clearly on the front foot, especially when you analyze it later. And I could get rid of this pretty good, well-placed knight. I'm hoping, he takes the sacrifice. Instead, he plays queen to c6, and this is the big blunder that loses him the game. I'm gonna pause for a minute. I'm gonna let you try and find out the tactic that I used where I can win the game. He resigned just a few moves after this, so here's a little pause for you to try and work it out. Okay, I hope some of you at least found it. If not, I'm gonna give you one other clue, and that clue is there is a sacrifice involved, and the intent of the sacrifice is to remove the defender. And once I remove the defender, I can play a certain tactic. So using this information, I'm hoping some people who might have not found it the first time can find it. I'm going to give you another pause, and I hope you really do give it a try. This is the best way to improve your chess. So here's the pause. Okay, I hope a lot of you found it, and if not, I hope you can learn a little bit about removing the defender, about sacrificing, and about pins and skewers. So the move was rook takes a6, and after he can't take with his queen because I'll just take his queen, so he takes with his knight. Knight takes a6, and now the killer move. I'll give you one more pause just for anyone who missed it. Well, the killer move is bishop to b5, and now the queen is lost because it's pinned to the king. He can move the queen, and he'll have to take it at one point, and I can take it back. I can even pick this guy up. So the position is just lost, and this was a really nice move because it wasn't easy to see. The reason I had to take this bishop with the rook at this point was it was guarding this square. So when I say remove the defender, it was defending this particular square, which is the square that I needed for my pin. So I had to do a rook exchange sacrifice because I'm losing the rook for a bishop, and the rook is worth more than a bishop, 5-3, and then I could do the pin. I hope you enjoyed this game. It was a pretty welcome game for me after having lost a lot of games. I went down to literally the 1400s, which is unusual for me. I usually play somewhere between 1550 to 1650 on chess.com, and I've been feeling really bad the last few months. Actually, I've been going down a lot in the ratings. So I hope you enjoyed it. I would recommend you watch the longer one, just so that there's more you can find out, because even if you're higher ranked than me, it might be possible that there's something in the way I played that you can use in your arsenal for later. And if you're lower ranked, sometimes just watching the professionals, they play all these obscure moves that we would never find. And even though you should definitely watch both of these together, you should watch some amateurs and some professionals, just to make sure that you're getting the right ideas from the professionals, and also to have something that you can pick up from a lower ranked guy who you might relate to a bit more. So thank you. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. This is just my second or third video, and I'm hoping to grow, and I hope the sound quality gets better. I hope my material gets better, and please help me grow my channel, and I hope everyone benefits from it in the long run. Thank you very much. Hope to see you tomorrow.